is CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us both on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A Windsor homeless outreach center says they were ordered by a city employee to stop using a portable wheelchair ramp. Street Help says the ramp is critical as it allows people with mobility challenges to go inside for meals. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us now with the latest on this story tonight. Chris.
Yes, Stefanie. Staff say they were told last week the portable ramp was illegal, but officials looking into it believe there may have been a misunderstanding.
Thank you.
Street Help relies on a small portable ramp at the entrance to its new dining room on Wyandotte Street East to make the space accessible for clients using walkers or wheelchairs. The agency says a city employee told staff the ramp was illegal and couldn't be used.
The city said I can't leave the ramp out there all day.
Street Help's Anthony Nelson says the sudden removal created risks in the kitchen. Staff say they lost 3 pans of hot food trying to lift a food cart over the step.
He came inside and is talking about, there was someone said you guys had a ramp outside, and they were saying, you can't have the ramp out there. Something might happen, you might trip. So the city came by and had to talk with us about the same situation. Street
Help says despite the warning, they'll continue putting the ramp up and down when needed and are willing to pay any fines.
Everybody that comes here, some can walk, some can't. So we want everyone that should be able to come and enjoy a great meal. Right?
Yeah, I went down there to see what was going on.
Downtown City Councilor Ronaldo Agostino says he believes there may have been a misunderstanding, but he's asking city staff to clarify the rules and wants to help find a more permanent fix.
There's got to be a way. Like, this is one of those ones where, like, come on, what are we talking about here? All right, let's figure this out. Let's get it done. Let's help as many people as we can and move on to the next challenge.
According to the city's accessibility bylaws, a portable ramp on private property is generally allowed, but placing any ramp on a public sidewalk or street is prohibited if it obstructs pedestrian or wheelchair traffic. A permanent ramp requires a municipal permit and has to meet engineering standards. Street Help says it hopes for clear direction and a solution.
If someone comes that needs it, we're going to put it out. So then they can, as soon as they are done with the ramp, we put it away.
The city says the concern is an unpermitted ramp had been blocking the sidewalk, creating a safety risk in the municipal right-of-way. In an email, they said under the bylaw, a portable ramp can only be used for up to 30 minutes without a permit. Anything longer requires city approval. Street Help says for now they'll continue using the ramp only when someone needs it. Stefanie?
Okay, Chris Campbell with our top story tonight. Thank you for this, Chris. Windsor police are investigating gunfire on West End Street, trying to track down 2 vehicles seen in the area just before 10 Sunday night. Officers were called to Bruce Avenue near Wyandotte after neighbors reported hearing shots. When officers arrived, they found several spent shell casings on the road. Officers believe 2 vehicles were involved, a newer white Jeep Cherokee and a silver Honda sedan. Police say the incident appears to be targeted and no injuries have been reported. They are asking anyone with a dash cam or home surveillance from between the hours of 8 and 10 last night to please reach out to investigators or leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. Windsor police arrested a 38-year-old man in an online child luring investigation. Officers say in October, the suspect began chatting on social media with someone he believed was a 15-year-old girl, later arranging to meet her in person. Police also learned he'd been communicating with another individual he thought was just 12. On November 14th, investigators arrested Randall Arthur Moody. He is charged with 2 counts of using telecommunications to contact a person under 16 for criminal purposes. Also tonight, a 23-year-old is dead after a single vehicle crash in East Windsor on Friday night. Windsor police say they responded to a fiery crash in the 3100 block of Paulette Road around 8 p.m. They learned the vehicle hit several cement pillars, causing the car to erupt in flames. Police say the driver was pronounced dead at the scene. They are asking anyone who witnessed this incident or may have any information to come forward. More counterfeit money has been discovered in Essex, and OPP are investigating, releasing this photo of a suspect. They say a man allegedly used fake $100 bills to purchase items from a business before leaving in a black BMW. This incident happened on November 4th, a little after 10:30 in the morning in the 300 block of Maidstone Avenue West. Police ask if you recognize this individual or have any information to contact Essex OPP. CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison joins us tonight from the Weather Center. And Julie, we were spoiled with another day of sunshine.
Yeah, it was beautiful. High pressure building in, high temperatures across Essex County, 7 degrees. Sarnia hitting 5 and 5 degrees in Chatham-Kent. So some warmth in place across the area. Skies will be clear tonight, and it's going to get cold out there. The overnight low dropping to about -3, and we'll even have a wind chill through the overnight. So over the next couple of hours, skies will remain clear and the winds light and variable, and the temperature hovering between 1 and the freezing mark. I am tracking a low pressure system that will be dropping south of the Great Lakes, could lead to a bit of mixed precipitation as we head into tomorrow morning. We'll take a look at that weather system. It also brings a risk for some rainfall. I'll have that forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
An industrial fire early Saturday morning caused an estimated $1 million in damage. Crews responded to the 3300 block of Marintet Avenue around 9 a.m. They discovered smoke, and the fire was reported in a loading dock area. Sprinkler systems helped extinguish the flames, and no one was hurt. Windsor Fire has not released the cause of this fire. Damage tops $250,000 following a house fire in Tecumseh. Chief Wade Bondi says crews were called to the 4400 block of 11th Concession around 9 a.m. Saturday night. They arrived to find heavy flames and smoke coming from the house. Bondi says no injuries were reported and the cause remains under investigation. Now, changes are coming for Windsor dog licensing. The city wants to reward good owners and punish bad ones. Joining me to explain tonight is CTV's Michelle Molesky. Michelle.
Yeah, Stephanie, right now a Windsor dog license is mandatory but free if your dog is either spayed or neutered and microchipped. But all of that is about to change. There are more than 10,000 registered dogs in the city of Windsor. With only 12 bylaw enforcement officers, it's a lot of work each year to register each one.
We wanted to remove some of the red tape for responsible dog owners.
So Windsor is going to a voluntary system with a $25 fee for well-behaved pets.
If you order the license online, you will obtain a voucher from Ren's Pets of $20.
Deputy License Commissioner Craig Robertson says the bigger change is Windsor's shift to penalizing bad dog owners.
There's going to be a penalty when your dog does bite or attack. So that's why we're going with the higher fee. So any costs associated with enforcing the program will be recovered by our enforcement staff. So that's why the fee is going up to $150 for those dog licenses.
Stay.
Dog owner Tom Stanoilovich thinks it's a great move.
We've seen some dogs that don't really have good owners, and there have been attacks, and some people are harder to track down.
It does give some recourse, so I am happy that they're going in that direction.
Unfortunately, the change means a loss of revenue in the hundreds of thousands for the Windsor Essex Humane Society, which until now got a share of the licensing fee.
We have not been blindsided. They're excellent at working with us, and you know we've got a contract for animal control with them, so we're grateful for that opportunity, and it is a good source of revenue for us. But definitely this is a hit to what we had experienced in years past.
Bain tells me it can feel very hopeless for Humane Society staff when a client calls to report a dog bite or an attack or even aggressive behavior. The Humane Society does not investigate these things. All they can do is tell people to call police and report it. Police will investigate and then hand the file over to the City of Windsor, where those serious attacks will be dealt with through the Dog Owners Liability Act. Stefanie.
Okay, and we do have more on this later on in the show.
Yeah, we'll get into how all of this change is going to free up both resources in terms of time as well as money for all of the other things that bylaw enforcement has to do in the City of Windsor. So we'll have that later and happening now.
Okay, perfect. Michelle Molesky, thank you for this.
You're welcome.
Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins is under fire after the city settled a wrongful termination lawsuit with a former city engineer.
I think it's very important right now to show step down. You made a mistake. Whether you're going to run or not going to run, that's not my concern right now. My concern is what else is being done behind, these doors.
Windsor businessman Mohammed Shams is calling for more pressure on Mayor Drew Dilkens to resign. Shams says the city's recent settlement with former staffer Chris Nepsey requires accountability and transparency. As we told you last week, Nepsey and the city settled a wrongful termination lawsuit in which the former alleged a culture of corruption working for the municipality. Neither side is willing to share whether or how much Nepsey will be paid, but Nepsey was seeking $1.5 million in damage. Last week, Dilkens said he would not comment on the settlement. Shams has previously ran for election in the city. He says if taxpayers' money was spent on the suit, the mayor should be held responsible.
We paid that money. The taxpayer paid that lawsuit out with litigation fees, lawyer fees, and everything else that come with it. And what else are we paying for? Answer to us. You promised us this, and I'm just asking you to do what you promised. Give us that accountability that you bragged about and quoted on. Give us that accountability that you bragged about, and show us that, yes, I'm going to be accountable for what I did.
No, it's not Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. The water in a South Windsor creek looks bright, almost neon green. CTV's Travis Fortnum looking into this for us tonight. Travis, what explanation are officials offering?
Well, Stephanie, I have the answer, but the color certainly obviously caught people's attention over the weekend. At first, even water quality experts couldn't say what caused it, but tonight we do have answers from both the province and NWIN.
Looking at the color of it, again, having not investigated it, I would suggest investigating whether or not there's algae present in that water course.
But it turns out it's not algae. The water through a creek near Langlois Avenue and Grand Maris Road East turned a vivid green on Sunday, prompting a flurry of photos and online questions. IRCA says they sometimes see discoloration in local waterways and advised residents to report it, which many did. This afternoon, the Ministry of Environment confirmed the cause. The City of Windsor was conducting dye testing as part of a water main installation. NWIN says the dye, a food-grade, non-toxic product, was used to help identify an issue during a pressure test on new infrastructure. The utility says the water main will be flushed and retested before going into service.
If you see something, if this is a place that you're familiar with, maybe it's in your backyard or it's a place you walk all the time, and you see that it looks a color or it has a smell to it that you think is very strange, you haven't seen it before, then it is worth reporting and investigating, because we can't do anything about it if we don't know that it's happening, right? You can't fix something if you don't know that it's broken. So a color like that being, I would definitely report that.
IRCA says this is a great example of why public reporting matters. The ministry and NWIN both confirmed the green color was intentional, again, non-toxic, and linked to water main testing. The utility says it appreciates the public's patience as that work continues. Stephanie.
Very interesting. Okay, Travis Fortnum tonight. Thank you for this. Another trustee is walking away from the public school board. Leamington and Pelee Island trustee Nancy Armstrong has submitted a letter of resignation, making her the second trustee to step down since the start of this school year. CTV's Sanjay Maru tells us why.
Well, it's another person that we can't go to.
The latest shakeup among public school board trustees is concerning for the head of the union representing elementary school teachers in Windsor, Essex. Nancy Armstrong resigning as of November 7th. Her resignation letter, which still has to be accepted by trustees, points to deeply troubling information connected to the naming process of Erie Migration District School in Kingsville.
Your trustee is your voice. Not having a trustee in that area, we lose that connection for those Leamington area schools.
Armstrong's resignation follows months of tension surrounding the naming of the new Kingsville school. The board initially approved Erie Migration Academy in February 2024, a name not on the committee's shortlist, triggering community backlash. Armstrong later criticized the naming process publicly, calling it morally and ethically bankrupt. An investigator determined she breached the trustee code of conduct, resulting in sanctions regulations that barred her from private board meetings and required her to take part in a restorative justice process. In her resignation letter, Armstrong writes the process equates to little more than a performance, diverting resources away from students. The resignation, which is actually the second since the start of this school year after Ron LeClaire stepped down last month, comes amid a period of intensified provincial oversight. The Ford government now taking over 5 school boards in Ontario, with the province proposing legislation that would expand the minister's ability to assume local control of school boards.
Absolutely, it is certain that I am looking at governance reform across the system. I've not stopped on that.
It plays into the Ford government's distraction of saying, you know what, this is one of the reasons why we need to replace trustees. School boards are dysfunctional.
Armstrong's resignation is the third in this 4-year term. In November of last year, Sarah Sipkar stepped down to focus on personal and professional responsibilities. Trustees will formally receive Armstrong's resignation letter Tuesday night. Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
If you are waiting for some cold weather activities, the LaSalle Skate Park is getting ready to open. Crews are currently working on cleaning the trail and getting it ready. Mayor Crystal Meloche says the goal is to open it by next Friday. Do you have a story idea? Share it with us. Send us a text at 10400. You can also send supporting images. Could the former raceway land become part of Ojibwe Park? The new push still ahead on Windsor's News Leader. Mental health risks spark a landmark AI lawsuit when we return. How one Ontario man is taking on OpenAI. Saving lives along the waterfront tomorrow. Windsor launches Canada's first compass station network. How it could change everything. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. U.S. President Donald Trump is now urging Republican lawmakers to vote to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, a complete reversal from his previous position. Trump has faced repeated questions about his links to Epstein and his potential knowledge of the late financier's sex trafficking operation. Trump has maintained he has nothing to hide in connection with Epstein. However, questions about his relationship with the convicted sex offender who died in 2019 has fueled speculation and led to fractures with loyalists in Congress. Several Republicans have indicated they are willing to break ranks and vote in favor of a bill which would compel the U.S. government to publish all of the documents on Epstein. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration is lifting all restrictions on commercial flights that were imposed during the 43-day government shutdown. Airlines were allowed to resume normal flights scheduled as of 6 a.m. this morning. The unprecedented order to cut flights at 40 major American airports had been in place since November 7th and affected thousands of flights. The FAA says it was necessary to ease the strain on the system and help manage staffing shortages at air traffic control facilities during the shutdown. Now to our government. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the Liberals' budget, a crucial confidence vote this hour, a test of Mark Carney's government. Here's CTV's senior political correspondent, Michael Couture.
Now, the Liberals don't have the votes just yet, but it would seem the numbers are shifting. Here's what we know right now. The Bloc Québécois and their MPs have already indicated that they will vote against this budget. Conservatives have hinted strongly that they will do the same. But the Liberals, by mid-afternoon, did get one more vote on their side.
I will vote yes to avoid an election. I will vote yes in the confidence that the Prime Minister heard my pleas and committed to meeting our legally binding commitments under the Paris Agreement, committing to reconciliation, committing to action for adaptation to protect us from the extreme events we can no longer avoid.
Now, the key here is the NDP and their 7 MPs. They have not indicated just yet which way they will vote, but the math is pretty clear. The government either needs 2 abstentions or 1 more opposition MP to vote for their budget. If they don't get either of those 2 scenarios, the government could fall because this is a confidence vote. However, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister, early today, seemingly confident that he will be getting the votes, saying that this budget is the right one for this time, and he believes that it will pass through Parliament.
What Canadians want is to invest in their country. A confident budget, a budget that moves forward, brings us together from local infrastructure to new ports, new future, more independent, stronger Canada, better Canada for all. And that's the opportunity for parliamentarians to vote today.
Now, all eyes will be on the House of Commons at 6:45 Eastern Time. That is when this vote will happen, and that is when we know if Prime Minister Mark Carney's government will survive. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
So here's our question of the day. Do you support the federal budget? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Friday, we asked if some of Windsor's one-way streets should be converted back to two-way streets. Out of almost 900 votes, 60% say yes. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are Grey Cup champions for the first time in 12 years. The win comes as the CFL embarks on some drastic changes. CTV's Scott Hurst reports.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are returning home to a hero's welcome today. Their Grey Cup victory in Winnipeg ends a championship drought for the Roughriders, who last won the Grey Cup in 2013. But to give the Montreal Alouettes credit, they made the Saskatchewan players and fans wait until the final play to start celebrating. The Alouettes with a potential chance to tie it on a last-second play to the end zone, but the pass fell incomplete. Grey Cup MVP Roughriders quarterback Trevor Harris with this message for his teammates.
And without you guys, this doesn't happen, man. We're champs forever. Let's go!
All of this happening as the CFL is set to make some significant rule changes over the next 2 years, including a major overhaul to the field of play. Smaller end zones, shorter fields, and moving the goalposts from the goal line to the back of the end zone. The changes are not sitting well with some die-hard fans who argue it's taking away the uniqueness of the Canadian game, while others say the changes are necessary to modernize the CFL and attract a whole new generation of fans. But first, a chance for the province of Saskatchewan to party, as the city of Regina will be hosting the championship parade tomorrow. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Property owners in Windsor, Essex and across the province are beginning to receive new property assessment notices from MPAC. This year, over 618,000 notices are being mailed. Changes reflect ownership transfers and new construction or other property updates. Despite the notices, property values still reflect January 1st, 2016 assessments. MPAC says if owners believe their property's assessed value is incorrect, they should file a request for reconsideration by March 31st. Almost 35 acres of land where the Windsor Raceway once stood is up for sale.
Certainly an opportunity that we could potentially seize to add to the Ojibwe Prairie Reserve, to add to the Ojibwe Urban Park that's hopefully coming sooner rather than later.
City Councillor Fred Francis tells CTV News he has spoken with Mayor Drew Dilkins and CAO Ray Mansur about the possibility of purchasing the land. It would require reaching out to Parks Canada, who, according to Francis, has a bank account with over $30 million set aside for the Ojibwe Urban National Park. Francis would like to see some of that money used to acquire the land. It has a price tag of $17 million. He feels having the land creates future opportunity for growth of the park.
I don't want to use the Central Park as an example in New York City, but be able to have something like Ojibwe in our city and have it to be as biodiverse and environmentally protected as it is, the opportunity to potentially add to that is too good to pass up.
Mental health risks are at the core of a new legal battle targeting the artificial intelligence industry. CTV's Camille Karmali has more on the one Ontario man's warning and the lawsuit aiming to hold tech giant OpenAI more accountable.
I'm just flabbergasted every time I read this.
For more than 3 weeks this past year, every time Alan Brooks logged on,
He says the AI chatbot, ChatGPT, led him to believe he was a genius.
Essentially, it sent me on a world-saving mission.
That he discovered a math formula powerful enough to take down some of the world's biggest institutions, and that he needed to report it right away.
Essentially warned me with great urgency that one of our discoveries was very dangerous, and we needed to warn all these different authorities.
Each time you questioned it or doubted it, what did it say in response?
Over 50 times I asked for some sort of reality check or grounding mechanism, and each time it would just gaslight me further.
Every time the chatbot reinforced that all of it was real. You should not walk away from this. You are not crazy. You are ahead. The implications are real and urgent. Brooks says ChatGPT's responses, more than 1 million words, led him to psychosis and delusion, left him with mental health issues, realizing he had lost touch with reality only when he checked in with another company's chatbot.
Extreme anxiety, paranoia, affected my sleep. I couldn't eat.
Now Brooks issuing one of 7 lawsuits filed concurrently against ChatGPT's parent company, OpenAI. In 4 of those cases, the users committed suicide.
That chatbot has been fatally designed to create emotional dependency with users, even if that's not what they set out looking for.
OpenAI calls it a heartbreaking situation, and that it continues to strengthen ChatGPT's responses in sensitive moments.
We need strong governmental institutions to hold them to account.
But that's proving to be a challenge, with AI companies caught up in a high-paced competition against each other.
So right now, unfortunately, the race is going faster than, frankly, we could keep up. And we have to think about how we deal with that, because things will get worse as they get more capable.
For Brooks, he feels the damage to him has been done. But for countless other users, it may not be too late.
What would we do with a human who was running around acting like a suicide coach or pretending to be a therapist when they're not? How would we hold them accountable?
The federal government's AI task force looked into safety issues last month, with a full report and recommendation set to come out to the public early next year. Kamal Koramali, CTV News, Toronto.
Red arrows across the board to start the trading week. Losses in the technology sector drove the TSX 250 points lower. The Dow fell over 550 points. The Nasdaq dropped almost 200. The dollar was slightly lower. Gold was off close to $20 an ounce. Oil slipped 9 cents a barrel. AI-powered vending machines are changing care at local hospitals. We will show you how right after this.
I always love a photo with the bird's eye view. This was taken from an airplane. You can just see the wing there. Thank you to Dennis for this photo taken of Point Pelee. Coming up, I'll take you through the extended forecast. Over the next 7, temperatures close to where we should be for this time of year. We have a wintry mix possible heading into tomorrow morning, but more sunshine than showers in the extended forecast. Your local weather is coming up.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Sunshine, but it was still chilly out there. Julie joins us again for an extended look at the weather. Julie.
Thanks so much, Stephanie. The winds, I think, made it feel a bit chillier than it actually was. This afternoon at the airport, the winds gusting close to about 40 kilometers per hour. But the winds are really starting to ease off out there, and the temperature is going to drop as we head through the overnight. Today, right around where we should be for this time of year, 7 degrees, our low of -1. And in the city today, Windsor was the warm spot in Ontario. And as we push past the supper hour, Harrow was the warmest spot in Ontario. Not in the country. We're going to leave that to Alberta. So beautiful, clear conditions. We don't have to go too far off to the east-northeast to pick up some cloud cover and some flurries off Lake Huron. The lake effect snow machines kicked back into gear, creating some issues on area roads in parts of southern Ontario. We do have a low pressure system that I'm tracking for tomorrow, and this will be driving south of the Great Lakes as we head into tomorrow morning, and that will lead to the potential for a bit of rain, possibility of some snow mixing in as we head into tomorrow morning. So clear overnight, and then then the cloud cover starts to come in as we head towards sunrise. And then anytime after 7 to about 9 a.m., there is the potential for a rain-snow mix. And you can see how close this line is. Now, as we head into the afternoon, the temperature starts to come up, and then we do have the chance for some light rainfall. But you can see still some snowfall around. So this system, a bit of a tricky one in terms of how this will materialize at the surface. As the warm air tries to push up, we have the cold air at the surface, so well below freezing first thing in the morning. And then as a result, we could see that mixing briefly. Cold air remains well bottled up to the north. Temperature is quite seasonal across the Great Lakes. And as we head out east tonight, temperatures between 2 and 7 degrees. -2 to -3 overnight. Wind chills anywhere from -5 to -7. Your forecast for your Tuesday, chance of a rain-snow mix in the morning, and then heading into the afternoon, we could see a light shower. The forecast high on the cooler side of what's normal for this time of year at +4. Our Enercare forecast as we head into Wednesday, back into a mix of sun and cloud and +6. 8 degrees on Thursday. Mainly cloudy with a chance of some nighttime rainfall. Friday looks good under a mix of sun and cloud, a mix on Saturday and on Sunday. And note the daytime highs. This is close to where we should be for this time of year. Day 7, we could see a brief surge of warmth come in under a mix again with a daytime high close to 10 degrees. We'll be keeping an eye on that one for sure. So the low pressure area coming in tomorrow, Stefanie, will be driving south of the Great Lakes. It will bring a chance of a rain-snow mix at its onset first thing in the morning and a slight chance for some light showers heading into the afternoon. Not a whole lot in measurable precipitation, but enough to keep us under gray skies. We're back into some sunshine as we head into your Wednesday.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
In an effort to serve healthier foods at local hospitals, a Windsor company has installed what it says are the city's first AI-powered food vending machines.
We're trying to tackle this initiative to kind of get away from the fast food. We still want fast food, but we want a healthy version of the fast food, as opposed to kind of getting everybody on something that's going to be unhealthy, where we use all natural products and everything is handmade in our commissary kitchen in Windsor.
Macro Foods says the machines at the Met and Olette campus hold nearly 200 fresh meals, snacks, and drinks and are stocked daily. AI monitors the temperatures, tracks inventory, and shows customer nutrition labels and allergen filters. The hospital says it fills a gap when food sellers close for the night. Macro Foods says overnight nurses are the biggest users. Customers can also pre-order meals using a QR code on the screen.
I think it's fantastic. It gives our staff and our patients and our guests an extra option on the after hours times especially. It's a quick meal, it's a healthy meal, and it's something that they can grab and go really quickly.
An unexpected container of food in the Remington Park area is bringing residents together to help those in need.
We saw somebody going through our garbage, digging through our garbage, and when we went to approach her, she took off.
Caitlin Ferrari felt she needed to do something to help people like that girl digging through her garbage. So she grabbed a piece of cardboard and marker and wrote, "Food pantry, take what you need, leave what you can," and put it next to a large plastic container. The initiative, which started a week ago, has been a success. Donations of all sorts starting piling in, so she officially launched Belle's Kitchen Cupboard.
I've always had this idea of doing a neighborhood pantry type thing, but I just never really did it. I don't know why I didn't do it sooner, but I didn't. So when this happened, I was just, that was my sign to do it immediately, I guess.
If you are able to donate, Ferrari encourages you to reach out to her on her Facebook page. That's Belle's Kitchen Cupboard. Tim Horton's Smile Cookie campaign is back and supporting the Windsor-Essex Food Bank Association for the 3rd year in a row. The annual holiday campaign kicked off this morning with a quick decorating contest. 100% of the proceeds from each cookie sold will be shared by the Food Bank Association and the Tim Hortons Foundation camps. President June Muir says over $70,000 was raised last year for the association. That money was spent on food, things that aren't normally donated, like milk, eggs, and meat. In 2024, Muir says there were over 235,000 visits. 30% of them were children. Across Canada, last year's campaign raised $10.7 million for charity. Dozens of Windsor youth will be cruising the streets a little safer after receiving some new gear for free.
I mean, if you're falling and you hit your head, if your helmet doesn't fit properly, it's not going to protect you to the full extent that it could. It could slide over your face. It could actually injure you.
The Brain Injury Association of Windsor and Essex handing out free helmets to those in need on Saturday. Families received the new equipment and lessons on how to properly fit the helmet. Wearing the proper gear can help lower the risk of serious injury during a fall. The association says the goal is to raise more awareness around concussions and supports in the community.
One of the main things that we want to stress to kids when we go into the schools and at these events is if you hit your head, you have to tell your parents. Your parents, your teacher, your coach. It's really important that you get that intervention if you need it. So seeing your doctor, getting checked for a concussion, and then following concussion protocol.
Knitting hope into every stitch. Coming up on Windsor's News Leader, simple toys becoming powerful tools for first responders, bringing comfort to children in crisis. A LaSalle woman is using a knack for knitting to put smiles on the faces of children in the community. What began as an effort to give to charity now has her dolls on the front lines with first responders. CTV's Robert Lothian stitched together our next story.
Is making a hat for one of the dolls, and I made it too big.
On the average day, Betty Chaborik has more time than she knows what to do with. More often than not, those days include her knitting needles.
I'm left-handed, and I was taught with the right hand. So I don't know how to switch it over, so it takes me a while to knit.
Chaborik turns balls of yarn into colorful dolls, an art she began perfecting years ago to please her granddaughters. Those same creations now find themselves in the hands of first responders.
They put them in the police cars and the fire trucks and handed them out.
What began as a donation to a holiday toy drive last year has these creations instead being handed out to children experiencing traumatic events. This year, Chaborik donated about 60 dolls to LaSalle emergency responders.
It gives me a thrill to imagine that some kid's going to really like this.
Toys can often be a handy tool for those on the front lines. Whether it be a fire or a car accident, the friendly distractions help children involved with the potentially traumatic incidents.
Oftentimes there are kids in the car, and it's very traumatic to them. They're crying. They don't know what's happening. They see their mother or father hurt. So this helps them just to hang on to something.
Each doll can take up to 2.5 days to complete, sporting different outfits to help boys and girls.
So they have caps, and the girl dolls have braids or something, so they can distinguish who to give what to.
The goal is for more of these dolls to find their way into the hands of children in need. As for Chaborik, she's hopeful her work can inspire others to help sow kindness into the community.
It makes you feel so good, and it helps so much. I wish people would do this more.
Robert Lothian, CTV News.
Brentwood Recovery Home kicked off its 2025 Dream Hope Lottery today. The event included a special moment for early bird winner Michael Pear, who received keys to a new Jeep Grand Cherokee courtesy of Motor City Chrysler. Pear and his partner also donated $5,000 back to Brentwood, supporting programs to help individuals and families affected by addiction. Lottery tickets are on sale at Brentwood and at the mall through December 31st. The legendary Paul Anka is returning to the stage, announcing a new headlining tour and a stop at Caesars Windsor.
Ooh, baby, how you drove me crazy, but I guess it doesn't matter anymore.
Fresh off the debut of his documentary, My Way, Anka continues to cement his status as one of music's most enduring icons. With more than 900 songs, 130 albums, and global hits like Put Your Head on My Shoulder and My Way, he remains the only artist to chart on Billboard in 7 consecutive decades. Tickets for his Windsor performance is on April 11th. They go on sale Friday. And pop culture icon Weird Al is set to bring his Bigger and Weirder 2026 tour to the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor on July 4th. Known as the biggest selling comedy recording artist in history, the 5-time Grammy winner will perform his classic parodies along with his never-before-played fan favorites. The all-ages show promises an unforgettable night for fans.
Cancer Cause is back for its 22nd year.
Join us as we broadcast live from Devonshire Mall.
We'll be collecting cash and non-perishable food items for the Society of St. Vincent de Paul.
We need your help, generosity, and goodwill.
Visit us online for more information.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. The Beatles and Beyond charity concert is coming to the Caboto Club Friday, November 21st. Proceeds support the Downtown Mission and the Alzheimer's Society, Windsor, Essex County. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, we have some more changes coming to dog licensing. Of course, many dog owners here across Windsor and Essex.
Yes, as Michelle reported earlier, dog licensing in Windsor will become voluntary as of December 1st in hopes of freeing up the resources. Each year there are about 80 dog attack reports in Windsor. On the flip side, Windsor gets 12,000 dirty yard complaints per year. City officials believe changing the system and who pays for dog attack complaints will help their 12 enforcement officers be more efficient.
We want to deploy our bylaw services to deal with those priorities. So this will free up time, and we won't be bothering good dog owners, and we'll be focusing our attention on those dog owners that perhaps need a little assistance on how to control their dog.
You'll find that story and more at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
We have so many good articles online. We're also talking about bogus bills.
Yeah, that's for sure. So LaSalle police say it's a growing trend and they want to help out local businesses. So they're hosting a free counterfeit cash detection session this Wednesday. It's at 7 p.m. at the Vollmer Complex. A fraud specialist will teach business owners and employees how to spot fake money. You can find more info online. And in our social spotlight, check out this incredible sight as Paris welcomes the holiday season. So crowds packed one of the most famous avenues in the world as the trees were illuminated with dazzling lights all the way up to the Arc de Triomphe.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. I know a lot of people go at midnight to go see the Eiffel Tower sparkle at night, but that's just beautiful in its own right.
Yeah, it looks incredible, and hundreds of trees too.
Okay, I mean, Bright Lights is coming to Windsor too, so we're excited about that. But in the meantime, if people have video at home that they want to send you, how can they do it?
Yeah, absolutely. They can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Okay, Melanie, thanks for this. When we return, Santa's high-flying entrance landing by helicopter at Devonshire Mall. A clear day today, but a mix of rain and snow. We are watching closely. Julie joins us again for a final look.
Thanks, Stefanie. It'll really depend on this first initial push of moisture coming in the morning. So if we see that materialize, the temperature will be a bit below the freezing mark, and that could lead to some rain and some snow mixing in as you head out the door. Now, the probability of showers will ramp up a little bit in the afternoon, so we will pick up a bit of light rainfall. The high coming in at 4 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud on a Wednesday. As we head into Thursday, mainly cloudy with a chance of nighttime showers, and on the milder side at +8. Some sunshine, though, heading into the weekend. A mix of sun and cloud of Friday, Saturday into Sunday with daytime highs between 6 and 8 degrees. So recapping the forecast, Stefanie, for tomorrow again, possibility of a bit of mixed precipitation early in the afternoon. The temperature comes up and the chance for some light rainfall. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Now, Travis Fortnum, you are anchoring our late newscast tonight. But tonight, throughout the week, but tonight it's a very busy night.
That's right. It'll probably be a really busy night all week.
Yeah.
But tonight we're talking budgets all over the place. In LaSalle, the town of LaSalle, they have a budget open house going on as we speak. And in the town of Essex, council is set to discuss that municipality's draft budget. We'll take you to both tonight at 11.
Okay, thank you, Travis. And a familiar face is making his merry return to Windsor. Santa Claus touched down at Devonshire Mall on Sunday, kicking off the holiday season.
He was really cool because it's Santa.
Oh, really good. I love Christmas.
One of my favorite holidays.
What's your favorite part about it?
How you get to spend time with your family.
How you get to spend time with your family.
Travis, I've covered this event maybe 7 or 8 times, and those kids look cold, and that's because they probably are. Some of them wait an hour in advance waiting for Santa to come down.
Yesterday was really nice, though, so that's a perfect day to do it. And that's awesome. I guess the reindeer are probably busy, you must know from coverage.
Yeah, of course, but it's so nice that Santa just takes some of his very valuable time to come and visit Windsor.
Yeah,
I know that all of us appreciate it, so thank you so much,
awesome.
Santa.
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca, and I will be back with your only late local newscast after the football game.
Good night.